Hello. How are you on this fine, fabulous Thursday evening, early evening, afternoon? Hello, hello. Let me do my pre-warning. As soon as the old man gets home, I'm going to have to get off because he's bringing home dinner. So we could have a half hour. We could have an hour. Okay? Okay. And by old man, I meant my boyfriend. That's what I meant by that. You were just thinking about me? Oh, thank you. Is it Olenka? Olenka? Thank you so much. Were you thinking about me, Rhonda? Love it. My SP is my best friend. He said he's straight and I want to be with him. Okay. So don't think 3D limited right now. Don't think 3D world, muggle world limited. Love transcends all. Love has no barriers, right? And that's every single one of us. Our true nature is unconditional love. From there, it's all layers. I want to say layers of ignorance, but layers of conditioning, beliefs. So, hopefully you take this the right way. It's my intention that you will, but sexuality really doesn't matter. There are no barriers or conditions to love. Get what I'm saying? Don't put the focus on what you believe your best friend is. Even if your best friend has put it in your face, letting you know that, no, he's straight. Try to detach from that and that 3D and instead put the focus on who you want to be. And, who you want to be, I'm assuming, is the version of yourself that's in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with him, right? And try to take the sexuality out of it, because that's just, truthfully, it's a limit, right? Again, I know I'm being repetitive, but there are no barriers to love. Love transcends all. And think about it even in the basic bitch 3D muggle world. Think about it. Have you never heard of someone who is straight, seemingly out of nowhere, feeling attraction for the opposite? Happens all the time. Happens all the time. So don't look at it as a limit. Try not to. Put the focus on what you want, who you want to be. Okay? You'll see. It'll work. It'll work. He knows I love him, and I can tell he likes me deep down. I bet he does, Scott. I bet he does. So focus on that. Focus on that. Listen, we're marking it down. What's today? Today's Thursday, October 10th. Okay? This is the day we had the conversation, Scott. So when you come back with an update, we'll remember this day. And you're going to update and you're going to say, oh my God, Kim, you're not going to believe what happened. And you'll get what you want. Okay? I'm so confident in that. I am. Thank you, whoever just sent me. It was Limitless Queen Batch. Thank you very much. There's my beautiful friend. I just want to text. Nothing more. What should I do? What do you mean you just want to text? Thank you, Candy Girl. What do you mean you just want to text and nothing more? What do you want the text for? Are you talking from a specific person or just someone else in general? Yo, Brittany. Because you probably do want more than that text. If it's a specific person, deep down you want more than just that damn text. Just own it. And as far as manifesting the text, put the focus on you being the version of yourself that got her text. I know how simplistic that sounds, but it's really all it is. Truthfully. How to let go of resentment towards SP. What I found, in my opinion, let me just say it like that. What I found from my own experiences, and obviously with, working with others. Oh my God, I can't talk today. First and foremost, remembering who you truly are, right? which is what? Source. The only cause of what we experience in reality. Not from a blaming and shaming standpoint. I feel like I always have to say that, but I hope you know that. So, whatever you experience that you now have resentment towards your boyfriend for, or your SP, whatever, think about, okay, this experience manifested, doesn't feel good, we don't have to pretend to like it, but have we accepted how it manifested? Again, this isn't about blaming and shaming. It's about realizing, okay, I am source. It was a reflection of me, okay? I'll just make something up. Let's just say SP cheated on you, okay? Now, yes, that hurts, and you could acknowledge your feelings. You're allowed to have your feelings and emotions. But from a manifestation standpoint, doesn't make sense why that experience was here, okay? Ooh! Oh, thank you so much. Fetch. We all know I love Halloween, right? I got my Halloween sweatshirt on. It's from Sammy Ingram's collection from 2 or 3 years ago. I still have it. When we experience, we'll say, being cheated on, we take a look at our beliefs, we probably can remember having thoughts or fears around being cheated on or being left, or just worrying that their eyes are looking in other directions. We all know that boils down to the not good enough belief, period. Or, and that too, other than just not good enough, it can spawn off into other beliefs too. You might have a generalized belief around, whatever. If you're into men, then generalized beliefs about men. So if we can accept how whatever that experience was that you now have resentment for, we can accept, okay, it makes sense. It makes sense why I experienced it in my reality, right? It was a reflection of my old beliefs, my old self. So if we can accept that the people we're intermingling with can only ever reflect, right? Reality is always a mirror. So we're only ever experiencing reflection of our own beliefs, I'm saying. So in other words, don't take it like, if someone's an asshole, then that must be a reflection of you being an asshole. That's not what it means. Just the reflection of our beliefs. We know that. And we know SP can only ever reflect. Can we open the door to forgiveness since we know now it was only ever reflection? Thank you so much, Batch. My God, you spoiled the shit out of me. As always, thank you. Do you see what I'm saying? If we can accept how manifestation works, and we can accept that we are the source of our reality, and there are multiple realities, multiple infinite versions of ourselves, then as we begin putting our focus on the new version of ourselves, if anybody's new to my channel, well, how you doing, first of all? Whenever you hear me say new self, all I mean is the version of you that has the manifestation. That's what I refer to it as on my channels, okay? The new self. Well, as you're focusing on your new self, try to remember that new self is already ready-made, pre-packaged, all put together. Nothing for you to stress about, just to put your awareness on. Right? So in other words, this self is not the self that had the experience that you're holding resentment for. So when old thoughts come in regarding whatever you're upset with, you can admit, first of all, we could take a baby step and just put the focus on the version of ourselves that is easy to forgive, can let things go. But put this into bigger perspective, and maybe this will help you move your awareness. Again, every state or every version of ourselves is already put together, prepackaged. Nothing for us to do but put our awareness on being that. Is try to remember, as this version of you, this new version of you, didn't have those experiences. This version of you won't have the full-on, super detailed memory of whatever you're holding resentment over. Okay? This version of you, she doesn't have resentment for the specific person. She doesn't have it at all. So the more focus you put on being that version of yourself, the resentment's going to fade naturally. And you're going to find that you're less and less bothered or triggered by things in reality that may remind you of shit memories right now. But right now, you're probably just in a habit of being whatever version of yourself you're being right now. Take the step back out of your reality bubble. So instead of looking at it as, oh my God, I have this resentment, I have to let the resentment go, or the better version of a specific person won't come in. No, we're focusing on, we can call it the negative. We're focusing on work. We're focusing on having to fix. No, that's ass backwards. Focus on the self that already has moved on. The version of you that's already in the new reality. So that, again, putting the awareness on the new self who's in the relationship with the version of your specific person that you prefer. Put the focus there. Give that your attention. Everything else will fall away naturally. This is why you don't hear me barking at you to fix your self-concept. This is why you don't hear me barking at you that you have to heal every bad experience you've ever had in your life. It's because why focus on fixing and healing so it stays in our awareness and we keep manifesting from it? Put the focus, your awareness, on the new self by the law of assumption, by the law of all, by the law of God. You're already perfect, healed, and resentment's long gone. You're already that. That's your true self. You're just focused. So there's that layer of ignorance I was talking about earlier, the layer, the condition, the belief. You're focusing on that obstacle. When the obstacle really doesn't exist, it's in your awareness, so you believe it exists. So put the awareness on, there is nothing to feel resentment about. Everything's gone or everything's forgiven. This is the version of you that never had it to begin with. She's already, ready to be in that loving relationship. That's her normal. That's her natural way of thinking good things about her person. Because she never had any experiences that caused, thank you very much, Jess, that caused any of the original shitty beliefs. Do you see what I mean? Most of the time, manifestation, in my opinion, is incorrectly taught from the place that there is just one you with one mind. And that's not true. You're multidimensional. You are experiencing at every given moment what you are aware of. And if you are aware of being, therefore you're identifying with a version of yourself that you believe is the version of self that has to forgive, has to let resentment go, has to heal, has to fix, has to get a better self-concept. That is only one of the infinite identities you have to choose from. So why focus on the one that needs work? Focus on the one who never needed the work to begin with. And everything will unfold naturally for you. You'll have your desire. I'm telling you, when you look at it from that viewpoint, it's going to change your life entirely. And you'll come back and tell me, yes, Kim, you were right. You'll see. Oh, thank you so much for all the gifts. My God, you guys are fucking spoiling me. I hope you're well, Jess. I affirm, but I still feel bad. I'm shifting, I know, but I want to enjoy life more. My friend, put the focus on being the version of you that enjoys her life. Put your focus there. If your mind is pulling you back out by reminding you of things, maybe things within your 3D, or things that you've experienced that have upset you, or that has made you feel like you can't enjoy life now, just try to remember that, and I do think this might be helpful, is remember who you are. Not this one being. No, the fullness of who you really are, as in consciousness, pure, unadulterated consciousness, the I am. You're focused on a version of you who feels like she can't enjoy her life. Well, why not? Because of something in the 3D? There's a version of you who loves every millisecond of her life and is experiencing everything she's ever wanted. Focus on her. As you focus on her, it's going to feel more natural. It's going to feel more believable. And I'm telling you, you will start experiencing change in your reality that validates where you're putting your awareness. You can be any version of yourself at any given moment. It's all choice. We're conditioned to believe there isn't choice. It's not true. You can think of certain words and experience the feeling of it. For example, joy. If that joy isn't a word you resonate with, okay, happiness, excitement, being in love with someone that you know mutually loves you. Think about those and feel how your body responds to them. They're just words. They're words. So then make it bigger. Focus on the version of you who's experiencing those. That's their real reality. You'll feel it. Just like you feel it when you're focused on things that don't feel good, on things that we don't like, the things we've given the label as bad, or that this hurts, or I'm afraid of this. It's fear. And fear doesn't run you. It doesn't control you if you decide it doesn't. I hope that makes sense. I won the lottery today, just $1. But is that a sign the millions I want are on the way? If that is what you are manifesting, that you're manifesting winning the lottery, yes. I would absolutely see that as a BBL or movement. There's a loud ass truck that's about to go by this. Okay, so it's gonna get loud for a minute. Yeah, Fred, first of all, congratulations. And yeah, I would definitely take that as evidence. For what it's worth, when I was manifesting a lump sum, and it was I've shared it before, 50 grand. When I was manifesting that, clearly at that time, that was a dollar amount that I had never seen before in one chunk, right? So it felt very far away. But what I started experiencing was random bits of money coming at me from all over the place. You know, sometimes it was $1. Sometimes it was $20. Sometimes it was $100. Other times it was $1,000 here. You know, see what I'm saying? Reality started reflecting the change. But that is a manifestation that I got very frustrated with. That was at the early days of my journey. Don't be me. Don't focus on how it's going to come to you. Take my advice there. Let's see. Hi, Kim. If I'm having thoughts repeatedly, which I don't like, and scary due to OCD, how should I react? Okay, so right now, you are in a version of yourself that has accepted or is now in the habit of believing you have OCD. That's not necessarily an issue. That's not really what I mean by that. But I'm saying, do you see? Okay, that's a part of the identity. So you know, more than likely, all the different, we'll say symptoms of having OCD. You know what that list is, right? You can Google the list of what OCD means. So right now, this version of you is focused on being the version of self that has certain aspects of it. So instead, why not put the focus on the version of you who isn't getting those kind of thoughts or isn't in fear over thoughts, and that the OCD is manageable? Put the version there. As far as thoughts go, listen, thoughts are just thoughts. Thoughts don't hold power until you decide they do. This is why we don't control the thoughts that come into our mind. We don't control them, right? They just come in. They are just opportunities for you to make a decision if you want to go to that reality. Think of it like that. So every thought that's coming at you is a possibility. But it doesn't mean, yes, I'm going to manifest that thought now. Even if the more afraid you are of it, you feel like more and more are coming. It doesn't have to mean they'll manifest. And especially if you're reminding yourself of who you are. So you can be any version of yourself. Any version, including a version of herself or himself that it has, OCD under control, isn't getting pummeled with negative thoughts. Manifestation is only being aware. That's all manifestation is. Cutting through habits and awareness. Who you are aware of being. So if you put your awareness on the version of yourself that you prefer, that's what the mirror will reflect. We really are limitless. I know it doesn't always feel like we are, but that's only because of a belief or a perspective we have about ourselves or about reality or, the people in reality. So move the awareness. How do you personally, How do you personally bring your desire to your awareness? Do you affirm, I am this? That is one way, yes. Visualizing, scripting, affirming, all techniques are geared to get you to begin associating, identifying consciously with that version of yourself or being in that state, embodying that state. So yes, can you simply affirm, I am this? Absolutely. And, like some people, like myself, I don't want to have to say 90,000 affirmations every day. That it would never be something I would stick to. So because I like paper products, just defined, what does it mean when I say I am new self? I defined it. So that's the only thing I remind myself of. Look at it as that. You're just reminding yourself. You're bringing it into your awareness. But it's reminding, not changing, right? Reminding. That's an acceptance that you are already that. That's what I mean by that. I have thoughts, scared I will accidentally manifest me dying. Okay, those are scary-ass thoughts, I'm sure. And I'm sure your body's responding to those thoughts, but that's only one possibility now, isn't it? There are infinite possibilities. Infinite. So, what if you were the version of yourself? What if you were the version of yourself that conquered that fear? What if you were the version of yourself that conquered that fear? What would it feel like to you to be the future you? Now remember, linear time is not real, but we're going to talk as if it is right now. What if you were future you right now in this moment? What if you were the you who already conquered that fearful thought? What if right now you could embody the version of yourself that is no longer in fear or even having fearful thoughts or really scary fearful thoughts without even you having to list what they are? What if? What would it feel like to be that version of yourself? What would it feel like to be the version of yourself that has the thoughts under control? And all I mean by that is like you're not getting pummeled with thoughts. What would it feel like to be that self right now? I'm hoping that you're actually thinking about what it would feel like. So there's your answer. When you're getting thoughts that you're afraid of, instead of feeding more at it or beating that thought up, which is only keeping you in an energy of fear anyway, instead bring it back to being the self that already got past it. All you're doing is you're bringing your awareness back to, we'll say, the side of your imagination that is more beneficial to you. That's all. It's not fighting it off or affirming a million things to make that thought go away. That's only keeping your awareness on it. When we want to get rid of something, the idea is to stop giving it time in your awareness. Stop giving it attention. So, the you who has no fear of her thoughts or his or her thoughts. The version of you who's no longer afraid of thoughts. It exists. That version of you exists. All versions do. All possibilities do. How do I know if I'm trying to control the 3D too much when it comes to building a business? Ooh, good question. Well, I imagine it's how you're responding to your 3D, how it feels. So let's say, for example, you're focusing on building your business. So I'm sure you have an idea of what that means to you, like what that outcome you're reaching for is. And let's say the opposite happens in reality. Let's say you're trying to build in, let's say having, 10 clients that you see every single day. 10 clients. And in fact, you just lost 10 clients. So it's the opposite, right? So if your response to that is, losing your shit and panicking and trying to manipulate things in the 3D that doesn't feel good at all, well, we're probably too attached to the 3D. So let me just say this too, so we make this very clear. You really can't do anything to mess up a manifestation. Not if your focused intention, your awareness, your heart's desire is what you bring your focus back to when you feel like you have fallen out of it. If you're bringing your awareness back to the who you want to be, it doesn't matter really what you do in reality, so long as you return back to that. So let's say, as we were using that example of losing clients, you start panicking and you start, I'm trying to make up things. You want to go spend $1,000 or more on advertising because you're panicking, or you want to do something that you wouldn't naturally want to do any other time. You're just doing it because of the circumstance. Well, there's a good indicator. It doesn't feel good. So you'd be better off returning back to your decision of who you want to be, meaning get back into your imagination. I don't want you to link, though, that like taking any action in the 3D is necessarily a bad thing. I know that's the opposite of what most people talk about in manifestation, but some of the decisions we're making, is just living in the 3D. So if we were to use an example of like specific person, so if you were manifesting a specific person, an example of you controlling the 3D would be, okay, I haven't heard from specific person in a week. I'm afraid they've moved on to somebody else. Let me start blowing up their phone to make sure they're still there and still will talk to me. That would be a moment where I would say, I wouldn't make that call if I were you, because you're not doing it from new self. You're doing it from a desperate, needy version of yourself. See, you can do actions in the 3D when you're authentically taking the action from the version of self that has the desire. So a business owner, there's some actions that would be completely normal to take, right? So probably the advertising one was a bad example, but if you're trying to build your business and one of the basic things that businesses do is buy advertising, well, then go ahead and buy advertising. But then panicking over, oh my God, did enough people hear or see the advertisement? We don't want to do that. We don't want to start poking the 3D and searching to see. No, we want to return to our decision of who we are and understand that if you are choosing to be a version of yourself, all the right people would hear or see that advertisement. You wouldn't have to do anything at all other than being focused on the new self. Gosh, I hope that made sense because I took you all over the place. You gotta let me know if that made sense, Katie. Wait, thank you, Kim. I sometimes can't tell whether I want to do the things or not. I do understand for what it's worth. I do understand. What I've learned being in my own little business owner thingy, what I've learned is if I have to keep thinking about something and thinking and overthinking it, I walk away from it. I walk away because I know I am not my new self when I am sitting and overthinking and analyzing. That's not me being in the self who is seeing something as successful. That's a victim version of me. So I walk away completely. I don't do anything. I walk away, clear my mind, even if it's to get my mind off it completely distract self. See what I mean? Just for a few minutes, just to clear my mind. And then I'll come back from, the decision that I am that new self. And I move from there. So try not to overthink it. Try not to. I know that's easy for me to say, but that's what I do. Hasn't failed me yet. Thank you so much, Jello. That makes me that just made my day. That was very nice of you. How to stop looking at the 3D, like waking up and checking if SP texted me. So if you wake up and you see SP didn't text you, what do you decide in that moment? Do you make the assumption that they don't love you anymore? That's what I used to do. Don't do that. I used to do that a lot. I was doing that like literally every day for 2 years. Don't do that. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm not stupid. When we're manifesting, it's because we want to experience it in the 3D. I know that. But that's the clue. When we are hung up on, oh my God, did they text? Did they text me? Did they call me? And if they didn't, oh my God, I haven't heard from them. Does that mean they don't love me anymore? Let me go check their Facebook or their Instagram or Snapchat and see if they've been online. I used to do that. Don't do that. Because if I saw that he had been online and he hadn't texted me good morning, I would come unglued. If you're new to my channel, I've shared that story multiple times, but I would come unglued. Like, you son of a bitch. You had time to go on Facebook, but you couldn't text me? That's not love. You couldn't love me. I just, so embarrassing, but that was me. I was in a victim state. I was an absolute total victim. And I was very much attached to the 3D. My life, my day would be dependent on that morning text. And the mornings I didn't get that text, it's like I ceased to function. That's how ridiculous I was. Okay? I was not changing self. And by changing self, all I mean is focusing on the version of myself that's in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. I was not doing that. I was scripting every day, but I was scripting all about him. All I would think or affirm or write down was stuff about what he's doing. That's like manifesting ass backwards. And that's what most SP manifestors start their journey doing. So there's nothing wrong with having the desire to have that morning text. Nothing wrong with wanting to experience that. That's not the issue. The issue is, number one, why do we want it? What does it mean if we don't get it? So in other words, we're labeling it as something. We're giving it importance, too much importance. If it affects us and bothers us, and we keep bringing our focus back to the lack thereof it, like the not getting the text at all, we're in that excess potential land, right? Like Vadim Zeeland says in reality transurfing, that's what that is. Too much importance on the wrong thing. What the focus should be on is who you are, who I am. So, again, nothing wrong with wanting to have the experience of getting texts and calls from your person. But in order to get them and to keep them coming is by you putting the focus on who you are. So I am the version of self in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. I am the version of self that can accept, can believe, can trust. Obviously, use your own words. That I can be chosen, that I'm more than enough to be in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. Again, you don't have to use the words I'm using. These are just examples. You bring the focus back to you. Now, if you know you already have like unfavorable beliefs about your specific person, like he sucks at texting. That was one of my beliefs. He sucks at communication. We obviously want to change that. We do want to bring some attention to him being his most loving version, but the dominant amount of what you're focusing on should be you, all you. Think about it. You can put your focus on who you are in the relationship. See, the more you're focused on who you are and detached from reality, and by detach, I just mean like from this point forward, you're not going to let the 3D tell you who you are. You're not going to check your phone first thing in the morning and then lose your shit because you didn't get that text. You're not doing that anymore. I'm assuming, right? You're not going to do that anymore. It's okay to look at your phone, but we're not going to get mad or get upset if the text isn't there because that's not who you are anymore. That's the old version of you. That's what she does, right? From a victim state. We don't do that anymore. We are getting into the daily practice of identifying as the self that doesn't need those texts. Doesn't mean we can't have them. I'm saying doesn't need them. We don't need a text message in order for us to be aware that we're more than enough to be treated like a fucking queen or king. Right? We don't need that. We can experience it. We can say, yes, I prefer to have text messages, but not from a desperate, needy version of ourselves. Listen, the more you do it, meaning focusing on being this new version of you who knows what the hell she's worth, the more natural it's going to feel, and you will notice your old behaviors and probably shitty habits start falling away naturally. Hope that made sense. I sit completely unbothered on my throne. Good. Good. Per Steph, I hope that's true. That's you're my kind of girl. Me and SP got into a fight 4 months ago. Hasn't been the same since. He barely talks and won't see me. Okay, let's keep it real. How much are you focused on how he's showing up right now? Probably a lot, right? Let's keep it real. Authentically. Are you probably focused more on how much he's changed or how different he is? Maybe fearing that, it's never going to go back to the way it was, right? Focus on how he's showing up day to day. So where's our awareness? Thank you for the what do you call them? Roses. Thank you very much. So we're focused on the shit we don't want. We're focused on fear, right? So who are you? Not just like the who you are, as in I'm Kimberly. I mean, who are you? Your source. Your pure, unadulterated consciousness. You're the fucking head bitch in charge of your reality. Why would we waste our manifestation abilities on the shit we don't want? The shit we're afraid of? That's the only reason why you're still experiencing 4 months later a shit version of him. Because we're focused on it. Our awareness on it. Your awareness, right? In here. Your awareness is like a fucking flashlight in consciousness space where it's dark. I like the dark. So consciousness is dark, but it includes absolutely everything. It's infinity. Your awareness is like one eyeball or we can look at it as like a flashlight. So what you are aware of, what you're focused on, is you're highlighting it with a flashlight. So you're highlighting the argument. He hasn't been the same. You know, the relationship sucks tits right now. You're highlighting it. So in a sense, you're telling your I amness, your higher self, whatever you believe you are, God, universe, higher power, source energy, moonbeams. You're saying, yes, please, I'd like some more. I'd like this to continue a lot fucking longer. I'm enjoying this experience, even though I know you're not. But when we keep our awareness on, this is like when people are trying to get rid of a third party. What do most people do? They put the focus on the third party. They're highlighting it, right? That flashlight is so securely fixed on what you don't want. That's telling self, give me more. Now, bitches, give me more. So what do you want to experience? Probably specific person being a lot nicer, being loving, where things are better than they've ever been, right? So let's bring that awareness flashlight to the other side of consciousness and focus it there. But focus on it from the place of identity. I am. I am the version of self in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. It's my favorite thing to say. That's who I am. You also might want to ask yourself, okay, this argument and how SP has been showing up, what was it over and how did it make you feel? And how does it make you feel right now, how he's behaving? The coldness. Because obviously it's a reflection of a belief that we want to decide we no longer have by focusing on the version of ourselves that doesn't have it. So let's pretend that it's the not good enough belief. So over here, this is the version of myself that's more than enough. I am in the awareness of knowing. Use any words you want. I am the version of self that knows she's more than enough to experience a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. Everyone loves me. Everyone loves treating me like a queen. You don't have to say those. I just think they're funny. But you get my point. The key is like a queen. You don't have to say those. I just think they're funny. But you get my point. The key is like a queen. You don't have to say those. I just think they're funny. But you get my point. The key is to focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Hold on. Why? I don't understand. Okay. We don't want to keep our focus on the things we're trying to get rid of. That's literally like saying, please give me a lot more of that. Thank you very much. Because our awareness is the boss of what is being reflected back to us. Remember, reality is the mirror. I hope that makes sense. It's true. Everyone I want to love me loves me. Like dogs, cats. Well, they count. My dog is my daughter, so that's good. What? Was it Ivy or Livy? How do I change the belief that my SP won't find me attractive because of my weight? Oh my God, that just broke my heart. You need to focus on knowing or being in the awareness of being the version of yourself that knows you're beautiful inside and out. That's what you need to do immediately. No. Oh, okay. I didn't want her to put her head through the screen to my sliding glass door. She's done that before. Does it make sense? Immediately, you are the version of yourself that is in the awareness of knowing you're beautiful inside and out. How silly of you to even question whether SP would still find you attractive. Your SP loves you unconditionally. That's who you are. Okay? You just asking me that question is telling me that you do not believe you are beautiful inside and out. Don't you understand you're already perfect? We are all individually already perfect. We just have a layer of conditioning that tells us a different story. You fucking hear that? Only when I'm going live. Okay? You put your focus on being the version of yourself that is more than aware of being more than enough for an unconditionally loving, fulfilling, committed relationship, and that you are the version of yourself that is aware of being beautiful inside and out, you'll see a change. You won't have to worry about your SP not loving you for that. Okay? Listen, don't get me wrong. I manifested breaking out of the cycle of yo-yo dieting. But let's keep it real. Okay? That dirty word weight and all the limits and conditions and ugliness we attach to that. Okay? You're beautiful no matter what. All right? It's so important. I spent most of my adult life not thinking that about myself. That had to change to get the change I wanted in my relationships, my love relationships. But once that belief was changed, my whole life changed. And it spilled over in a good way to all the other areas of my life too. But you've got to decide it for yourself. You have to claim it. Claim it now, even if you don't believe it. Claim it now. And today is the day, because I'm assuming you probably already do this, and we're going to decide you don't do it no more. No more beating yourself up when you look in the mirror, or if your clothes feel a little snug. No more beating yourself up. That's putting our awareness in the wrong place. Okay. Well, I warned you that I was going to have to go once my SP came home and he's home. That's why she's holding her shit. Okay? I love you all. I do appreciate you being here. I meant what I said to Livy, Ivy. Focus on beautiful inside and out. Okay? If you don't resonate with the word beautiful, pick a different one. But you get on that immediately and you won't have to worry about a damn thing. Your SP will love you whether you're 10 pounds extra, 100 pounds extra, 100 pounds less, 10 pounds less. It won't matter. Because weight really doesn't matter. It doesn't. Not in the place of beauty. No. That's a limit in the fucking 3D that we've all been conditioned with, and we're breaking free of that shit. Okay? All right. So, I love you all. I'll see you all soon. I told you last weekend that I was going to go live, and then I just couldn't. I couldn't, so I'm not going to say I will. Yes, I know. Daddy's home. Just a minute. Just a minute. He's coming. All right. I'll see you all. Try to save this.